do, eh?
Yeah, and I cook a lot of my culture foods. Go to my culture parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask it another way.
Yeah.
Say a Canadian boy
Mm-hmm.
that's worthwhile was expressing serious interest in you,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time trying to catch your attention was a Sudanese guy who was commendable,
Mm-hmm.
and they were both really saying, hey, I'm serious about you.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you give more preference for?
The guy from my culture.
From your culture, okay. How about if this guy had never been in North American culture,
Mm-hmm.
so he was 100% Sudanese?
And he didn't really know his culture at all?
If he was unfamiliar with the North American culture, yeah.
Oh, if he was unfamiliar with the North American?
Yes. So he was like an amazing catch for a Sudanese guy, but he was like, yeah, I don't understand the Northwestern mindset.
Oh, then no, I can't.
You need that sort of flexibility.
Yeah, exactly. Because my culture, some things are just...
Out of,
Yeah, their mindset is like still...
backwards? Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
Like,
I'm sorry to make your brain work so hard like that.
no, it's okay. It's like girl is still clean, girl is clean.
Sure.
And all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like very patriarchal and not very egalitarian.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? Are you really into your culture or no?
I would say I understand my culture well.
Yeah.
Like you, I would say I have a much heavier influence from the Canadian side.
Yeah.
However, I'm really critical of both, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
given that I understand both cultures really well, having lived in both, and knowing the influence,
Mhm.
I am really active in critically thinking about elements of expressions on both sides that I really value and say, this is what I want to keep. I really want to see this, as part of my life.
Exactly.
And then I also want to do the same by way of the critical aspects of my culture from back home
Yeah.
and this one here. And so there's many things that I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I disagree with this, but then I try to figure out why do I disagree, or why, like, how would I communicate why I am against these expressions, and then what would I put in their place as a substitute, something that I feel would be better aligned. So along those lines, I would still say I'm heavier influenced by the North American mind frame,
Mhm.
but in a very critical way, whereby I just really enjoy living life in a reflective way, so that I understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm thinking what I'm thinking, or saying what I'm saying. That all really matters a lot for me. And so along those lines, if I were to be with a girl, especially from a different culture, I would be a little more cautious, meaning I'd want to understand as well as I could her cultural background and what conclusions they lead to. Like, for example, you were saying for you with 100% Sudanese guy, you'd be like, no deal, because there's a certain destination or set of conclusions that he would come to automatically, because that's where his influence comes from, right? Those are the kind of things I'd want to understand really well about the background culture of a girl from a different culture if I were to consider dating her and being with her, so that I am not signing up for something that would lead me against my convictions. If that makes sense.
I don't know. A lot of my uncles go back home to get married, and it never works out. And it's crazy to me how they didn't think it through.
But do you think that a lot of that has to do with they never have been given that option of thinking outside the traditional box? This is just what you do. You go back home, you find your wife there, you bring her back here, and you make it happen, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now we are in a generation, you and I perhaps, where we have more access to thinking a little further ahead and saying, is this a good investment? Is this a good way for me to consider where I'm going to go forward in the future, for example, right? I wonder if that isn't part of that too. Thanks for coming along on that thought exercise with me.
Oh.
Question for you. We've got about a minute left in our ride here. Before I make my request, I'm gonna make a request here. But I love this color of the flowers. That's my favorite color, yellow. Before I make my request, though, Akuch, I want you to know that I really would value a no answer if you don't feel comfortable with my request. Okay. So the kind of things we're talking about here, I would love to feature on my profile, like that I have on my platform that I have with my followers. I think it's like really rich content here. Basically, what I do on my profile, I feature how we can connect socially with people that we come across along the way. I don't think this happens very often, and I encourage my followers saying, here, what could this look like if we were able to connect with one another in such a way that is meaningful. I would love to feature what like our time here together, but I don't do this without the permission of
You can make a U-turn over there.
over here. Okay,
On the right.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like right here.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll do that over here. Yeah, so I would love to feature it, but it's not everyone's jam. Like not everyone, I should say, really enjoys the opportunity of being featured. Oh, did I turn too soon?
No,
here?
you're good.
Is it good?
It's up there.
Oh, it's up here. Okay, good. Yeah, so I would love to feature it, but I would totally understand if it's something that doesn't make you feel comfortable at all. Hello. I just passed right by it, didn't I?
Yeah, it's okay.
Would you be willing to let me feature our conversation on my platform? Or is it something you're like, actually, that doesn't really fit my jam?
I don't mind, yeah.
You don't mind?
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'm usually careful when I ask because sometimes my conversations, they're always so wonderful, but sometimes it goes into like personal stuff where, you know, you're talking about Auntie Jane or Uncle Mo that I don't like, and I don't want to implicate my riders that way. So I'm really careful about that when I ask. But when it's like appropriate, I'm like, oh, this is really good stuff, and I'd love for my followers to have access to some of the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
And for a lot of my followers, they're really, I think, inspired by what I do because they're like, this is the kind of connection I wish I had more of with people. And so they're they're sending me messages saying, you know, watching your stuff, I want to become a better person in the way I look at the world and other people and so on like that. And so that's why I make that request.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
To do so, would you mind signing off on a consent release form?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wait, is that a video?
This is my camera. Yeah, this is my security camera. You see that I have for inside the vehicle?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
That's okay. I try to make it as obvious as I can.
Oh, okay.
If you're uncomfortable,
I
though.
Look better.
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay.
Look,
I'm
I
just
think you
joking.
look fantastic
Oh,
here.
thank you.
I wouldn't ask if I didn't think so.
Yeah.
If you have cream cheese on the side of your cheek, I'd be like, I wouldn't be asking. I'd tell you, of course.
Yeah,
first.
okay.
If you don't feel comfortable, though, I would totally honor that, though.
Yeah. No, I don't mind
You're
at
right?
all. Yeah.
Sweet, okay. So this is just, again, that legal part that says I did have permission to use your...
So is the video going to be... what's your social
platform?
media? Yeah.
What
Is it on...
I have TikTok, Insta, and YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to check it out?
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely. Awesome. Hey, this is TikTok, isn't it?
No, that's Instagram.
Oh, God. Darn it.
I don't have TikTok.
Oh, you don't? That's totally right, too.
Yeah.
That's just nice. Search. There I am. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick peek in there and just see what I want to do.
Okay.
If you want to.
And is your YouTube on here too?
My YouTube should be on there. By my name there, Binyam Asterisk, if you just separate them into two names,
Yeah.
you'll be able to find my page on YouTube as well, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. I've only started on Instagram not too long ago because my followers on TikTok were like, we really need your stuff over here, and so yeah. I appreciate you being willing to do that.
Do you get a lot of no's?
You know, I would say I ask only about 10% of my rides because mostly like 80-90% are the kind that I'm like, this isn't appropriate for me to ask. So of that 10%, I'd probably say about 8% say I'm uncomfortable with it.
Oh.
And I really push the no answer because in this culture, 21st today,
Yeah.
people in this culture don't really feel comfortable saying no, or so that's why I really want to say this would be really totally legitimate, so it's about 8% that say I'm uncomfortable even though I love what you're doing, and so that's what I appreciate.
Oh, it's just one.
Just the one page there.
I thought it was this whole thing. I was like, oh.
How much time do I have here?
I gotta sit here for 20 minutes.
Thank you, my dear.
Just quickly use the back.
Oh, the back is just like scrap paper.
Oh, okay.
I'm the scrap paper king.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, are you? I hate wasting paper.
Yeah, and I hate people who litter. I always yell at people.
Yeah.
And I hate people who kill bugs.
I've never met someone like that.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Akuch.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm glad we ran into each other today.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
It's very nice. I'll take my pen as well too.
Oh.
Those are always like.
I kind of want to. I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you really want, it's
okay.
okay.
Okay,
I hope
thank you
to
so
see you
much.
again, my dear.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye for now. And check me out. Yeah, I'll post those in a couple of days' time, and
Okay.
we'll see what I do more.
Edit the video nice.
I will. I always make sure I cover you guys.
Sounds good.
Nice
Okay.
to meet you, my dear.